Dr. Francis, can you sum up in a few words what your main message was to your audience today?
Well, I think the main message, the first message, is that we're all part of the environment, and so how we treat each other when we meet each other is really fundamental to anything that we're going to do in the environmental movement. The second part of that message is that we can all make a difference, and we make that difference, one, by our relationship with ourselves and with each other, but we all have a journey. We all have a special thing that we're going to do that's going to make a difference. And I think that we all get to do that if we follow something that's maybe in our hearts and not so much in our heads.
So I think it can be very definitely said that you had an effect on your audience today. I think that can be judged by the number of people who stayed behind to talk to you afterwards and simply to say thank you. And they're really, most of your audience today was at an age that you were when you started to make the life-changing decisions that you did. So why do you think it is that something that one could describe as very simple, as I'm not going to get in a car and I'm not going to speak, why does it speak such volumes to people?
Well, you know, I think that what really affects people has to be something simple that we can all understand. And I usually tell my audience or my friends even, listen, if you need a PhD to understand this, you should turn around and go the other way. It's something that everybody should be able to understand and everybody should be able to have access to. So you know when someone's treating you well, you know when you're treating someone well. And I think that's, why it's so easily understood.
I think the environmental messages we hear today are quite often pretty negative and pretty pessimistic. Your message isn't. So how are you remaining optimistic about what's coming?
Well, I'm asking my audience to be the change they want to see. And I hope that in my own life, I'm being the change that I would like to see.
So where do we start? I mean, at a practical level, out there in the world, what's number one, your priority, first thing for people to do or stop doing?
Well, I think the first thing that we need to do is to listen, to learn to listen to ourselves and be able to listen to our neighbors, to be able to listen to each other, because that's how we're going to learn. I mean, we all have something to teach one another. And as I mentioned about the story of me speaking or not speaking to my class and finding out that if I was teaching and I wasn't learning, I'm not sure that I was teaching very well. So I'm hoping that I learn as well each time I come to a class and each time I get up in the morning.
And of a kind of, I think the previous speaker at these events talked about a trilemma. He said there is the carbon factor of climate change going on, there is the increasing scarcity of fuel resources, and there is an economic storm at the moment. Which of those would you say is the most urgent problem on a global scale that we need to deal with?
Well, I mean, I think they're all very important. And here again is I go right to the personal, where our relationships with ourselves and each other is going to affect all of those things. And how we treat each other and how we view each other and how we live together is going to affect all the trilemmas that we can come up with. And number one, I think, is we're going to have to understand that we have to end war. We have to be able to live and cooperate with each other.
So finally, you, and we don't want to go into it because you did much better than me, your 17 years of silence. What would make you take up your vow of silence again?
Well, I don't know. I do it periodically. I just think it's a good practice. My time now is to go out and speak and deliver this message. But I don't know the future, so there could be something, but I don't know what it is right now. I have a little boy, 2 little boys, and my wife, and I have that life now. But every now and then I stop speaking for maybe a week or a few days.
Dr. Francis, thank you very much.
Thank you.